Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Like I said, Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. Y'all already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. And it's definitely an honor and a privilege to speak with the people tonight. I got a nice little hot topic for the people tonight, man, to be honest with you. Anytime we're discussing what's going on with the Charlotte Hornets, I think it's very important, that, we take things very seriously. I'm seeing a lot of rumors circulating throughout the NBA, trade rumors that be. And I'm just sitting here just scouring through, and I'm trying to figure out when in the hell are the Charlotte Hornets gonna engage? When are they gonna get in the mix, if you will? If you understand where I'm coming from. It's big business what's happening right now with Charlotte. Things have to get done, moves have to be made, and it seems like other teams, like the Indiana Pacers, are understanding what is needed of you in this NBA today, to be competitive. And right now, I'm here to tell you that the reports are saying, this just happened, I would say, about less than an hour ago, that the Indiana Pacers are near, a deal with the Toronto Raptors in acquiring Pascal Siakam. Now, I'm not saying that this is a foregone conclusion, but I'm here to tell you that that they are actively engaged right now, and it seems like Indiana is the landing spot for Pascal, if these reports are true. So I'm very disgusted, at the Charlotte Hornets, and pardon me. I'm looking at Lamelo Ball just in this serious conundrum that he's in right now, because you're talking about guys in your draft class, taking that next step. You pairing Pascal and Indy, you got a 1-2 punch for, I would say, for years to come. And I don't know if Mitch Kupchak is going to be able to survive such encounter if something was like that to take place. But the Indiana Pacers are proven to, pardon me, Indiana is proven to Pascal Siakam that he is the franchise player, and they are building around him. If you look at Minnesota, I do believe the move to go get Rudy Gobert was a move for Karl Anthony Towns, but you can't tell me it didn't open things and life up for my man Anthony Edwards. But the Toronto Raptors forward Pascal Siakam, his name has just been all over the place, but it seems like he's on his way to Indiana. I want to give some quotes. This is coming from Shams. The Raptors and Pacers are actively engaged in trade talks centered around two-time All-Star forward Pascal Siakam that would send him to Indiana for a package that includes Bruce Brown Jr. and other salaries and 3 first-round draft picks, ladies and gentlemen. This is how serious Indiana is in terms of really being competitive in this loaded Eastern Conference? How does Indiana stay pat? Right now they look like they're in a whirlwind with New York, Miami, and all these other teams. Cleveland. How do you break into that next plateau? You go get Pascal Siakam, and it seems like if this move was to take place, which it seems like it may, it leaves Lamelo and the Charlotte Hornets back in stone ages, and trying to resuscitate people's careers. And I think all of this stuff is over with. How can the Charlotte Hornets swoop in here and get in this Indiana deal? They won 3 first-round picks. They talking about Bruce Brown Jr. Seems like Toronto was prioritizing the picks. So why can't Charlotte roll in here? And their picks would be a lot more valuable. Maybe you can only give up two, to get them. I mean, who knows? But this lottery pick for Charlotte should be relevant if they wanted to move this next pick. But we're gonna have to see what they do. It seems like all accounts that the Charlotte Hornets are gonna stand pat and roll in with the same team and forever and ever and ever, and never actually put anything around Lamelo Ball. I don't like what I'm seeing. And at what point does Lamelo see the writing on the wall? At what point does he go into the front office and say, "What the hell is going on?" Obviously, it's going to be a new front office up here in Charlotte. What is he? What's going to be the relationship? Are they going to hire a front office that's going to be tailor made to put pieces and prioritize LaMelo, or is the next president going to roll in here and try to, not mention Melo too much, or talk about other things, or whatever? You guys have a franchise cornerstone, and they have put absolutely nothing around this man, and all you do is see other teams acquiring top-notch talent. All you hear is other teams in talks of getting top-notch talent, and the Charlotte Hornets is just complete crickets. It has to be some aggressive nature here, to turn things around. Now, this season is just a complete waste of time. If you just, like I said, there's really nowhere to salvage it. If you look at what point does LaMelo shut it down? Because could you imagine a situation where in this meaningless NBA season for the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo was the some another injury was to take place? In this meaningless season where you're basically playing for absolutely nothing, and it happened in like a record amount of time. This season became very abysmal very quickly for Charlotte. It didn't waste no time. It happened in a rapid rate. As soon as the season started, you knew things wasn't going to go the Charlotte Hornets way. And that's truly unfortunate, because every year we keep singing the same old tune, but other teams are rising to the occasion and elevating up into their standards, whether that's out east or out west. Charlotte should truly be ashamed of themselves, in terms of the product that they've put out. And all you're doing is charting out LaMelo Ball like it's some goddamn sideshow. And now they're going up against the New Orleans Pelicans in the next game. Do they truly have a shot at going up against New Orleans? These are the questions that I pose. They're 8-29, ladies and gentlemen. The season is completely over. There's no way in hell they're going on a 10-game winning streak. And even if they did go on a 10-game winning streak, there's no guarantee that they're closing the gap. There's no guarantee that the 10-game winning streak brings them all the way back up the hill. But I'm just speaking crazy now. At what point, where do you see the Charlotte Hornets going on any goddamn winning streak? It seems like the losing is going to continue. Right now, they just was fresh off of an 11-game losing streak. They working on another double-digit losing streak. They've lost 5 in a row. They are looking like the worst team in the Eastern Conference. And I just don't see where the hell do they fix this. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Salute to my man Rap Guy Chris 369. Shout out to all y'all in the building. Shout out Panthers Buzz. Um, Ether says, I'm curious how much input LaMelo actually has on the Hornets. You're absolutely right. I mean, it seems like LaMelo was heavily involved this offseason. But the season prior to that, you heard Mitch Kupchak speak about, they was hiring people. Nobody in this organization has worked up to the level for them to be sitting down having input, with them. And this is with LaMelo on the roster, already proven that he could be a franchise cornerstone. He's already proven that, but the problem is he's not been able to show it fully on the court in terms of the standings, the everything. It seems like individually, you're getting what you want to get, but as a team, there's no way LaMelo is going to reach his ultimate potential, and at least with the Charlotte Hornets, with this goddamn with this collection of guys that they're putting out there. And then, mind you, you're rolling in with a situation where they're probably going to have this team, what, again next year? And I believe they're going to lose some people. I think they're going to lose Miles Bridges, in the off season, because I don't see how you pay him massive money. And I think a team is going to swoop in, possibly Detroit, coming in with a little bit of extra cash, maybe a poison pill, and I don't know if you take that, especially with this record. There's no way you could justify paying a guy near max or somewhat competent, and you're 8-29, and you're at the bottom of the cellars, and LaMelo was out, and Miles couldn't stop the bleeding. He couldn't even get the team somewhat competent, and that's what I thought Miles Bridges was bringing. Everything I thought this season for the Charlotte Hornets has came to a screeching halt. Everything that I thought was going to happen has not happened. It actually has been the complete opposite. That is what is taking place. Shout out to my man Chris. He says the Hornets are losing ground. Listen, losing. They lost it. They've been lost ground in the NBA. We about the Eastern Conference, but I would say like they're not even a competent NBA running organization, and that's what really is the situation that makes me pause. To say what the hell is going on, and you talking about possibly getting Pascal Siakam, and they talking about just moving Bruce Brown. So do you see what the options that they would have on the table? That would put Indiana leaps above and bounds above the Charlotte Hornets. You had LaMelo having to go in there with the heroics in order to get the team over the hump and survive Tyrese Halliburton playing like his life was on the line. Now you're going to give Tyrese Halliburton some horses to run with him, and this is going to be troubling. How do you justify this? You have a guy in Melo where these three, are just synonymous with one another, and it seems like the NBA, obviously Melo, I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to name him an all-star? I believe that obviously he's performed like an all-star. He got hurt. The Charlotte Hornets record is doing them absolutely no favors, you know. But Edwards is going to be at the All Star game. You're going to see Tyrese. I thought it should have been clear cut with Lamelo Ball, but for whatever reason, it wasn't. Lamelo should have been clear cut All Star, and it seems like during that TNT broadcast, they tried to do everything in the world to show that Melo should have never been an All Star. They was talking about Miles Bridges, they was talking about all kind of stuff, and like I said, Melo never really got that just due. He came in off of injured reserve and things like that, and it was a mess. But I believe that if Melo didn't get hurt, he would have they would have had to force him in there because he was on an epic tear, before he went down. I mean, just numbers after numbers. But unfortunately, the Charlotte Hornets couldn't do anything in the standings, and we find ourselves in another conundrum situation this year where it's just a waste of time. How many more wasted seasons is Lamelo gonna have here in Charlotte? How many? How many more do we need to see? What's next? I don't get it. The only thing I could say is, well, maybe we'll get to it later, but they talking about dismantling Chicago. They could just give him Lonzo. At this point, they need something. Because this team is finished. We're gonna break it all down. I got Purple in the building. The Indiana Pacers, ladies and gentlemen, are on the verge of trading for Pascal Siakam, and Lamelo Ball is gonna. Like I said, this is not gonna be a good look. This flight sports. Purple, what's the deal?
Nothing, just seeing the possibility, of the Indiana stuff. But I seen your Knicks with Quentin Grimes and stuff like that. Just excited about if these trades go down.
You say you're excited if trade was to go down?
No, just a trades general.
Well,
Hmm.
we're gonna see some trades. We got the deadline coming up, but I'm trying to figure out how can Charlotte get in the mix of some of these deals. Why can't they get in the mix for Pascal? Why aren't they in the mix for DeJounte Murray? These are the questions I'm asking. It seems
Well,
crickets. You have talent out there that's available. Why not trade PJ Washington, trade Miles Bridges? Let's get Pascal in here. Give up the 3 first-round picks. I mean, goddamn, you haven't had a good draft, and Lord knows when Melo fell in your lap. Miller, I mean, come on. I mean, outside of Miller and maybe Williams, and we don't know what these guys are gonna become. I mean, trade the goddamn picks. I mean, it's time to do something.
uh, well, to me, outside of maybe a leadership role and just a good player that can still play in Siakam, the Hornets with acquiring him would still have a lot of holes. Will he clear up a big one, with the leadership and stuff like that? Absolutely. But remember, um, Siakam, I think it came out today. They said he wants to test free agency, so he's looking for a payday too.
Well, listen. I mean, if he come to Charlotte, I mean, they don't have the money, to give him that max deal that he want, and I think that's a good shakeup because we've seen what these guys are going to become. Then who knows if they ever going to become a Pascal Siakam? We don't know what PJ Washington is going to become. All we know is that they're a part of a losing situation, and when Melo wasn't there, they was not able to stop the bleeding. They was not able to even look competent is what I'm trying to say. I think it's a price that needs to get paid for this. It's too much comfort going on in Charlotte. I mean, you would think this is Los Angeles, the way they're moving out there. People need to get the hell out of Charlotte and they need a makeover. They need to bring in a champion like this guy. They need to. What about Quentin Grimes? His name is out there in New York. Trade
Yeah.
for Quentin Grimes. You need
To
something.
be
Get
honest,
in the mix. My thing, Purple, is the Charlotte needs to get in the mix of these deals. You don't even hear their names, and that's my problem.
but it's hard to get in the mix if we look at now Gordon Hayward. I'm not surprised by. I think we going on probably almost 2.5 weeks now, where they were talking about buying him out. That's not surprising to me. Then you have Terry. Terry has as much value as Buddy Hield has. So whatever Buddy Hield's current value is, that's what Terry's value is. Miles got in some trouble. you know, who knows what his value is? I seen Rap Reloaded say that he don't have no value. I think that was him that said Terry don't have that much value. I mean, Miles don't have that much value.
Miles
Nick,
looking for a
Nick is
payday. Somebody,
supposed
Toronto could pay.
I think Nick is Nick. They said Indiana. I think whoever it is wants a backup big. I think it was Indiana. So that's good for Nick. Nick, they don't have the most value guys they got. Honestly, is Brandon Miller, who they just drafted. Maybe Mark, but I doubt Mark. And Lamelo really. Lamelo and Miller is they too high. So if they're not involved in them in any of these trades, ain't nobody better to talk to them.
Listen, I mean, listen, you can move on. Me personally, I'm moving on from PJ. I'm moving on from Miles. Everybody's can go except for I would say Lamelo, Mark, and Miller. Everybody else is food.
But that's the problem though. Like everybody can go. Let's say, and it depends. Like, yeah, the Hornets need veteran players. We know that, but like, we don't know if Mitch is saying, like, I appreciate this veteran player, but I need the picks. That might be a problem too, where a team is like, nah, like, yo, guys, like, yeah, they work some seconds. But if you hear people say, like, which I'm trying to understand, they said 2 seconds is like a first round pick. What if they like, well, now, Mitch, like, we're not about to give you 2 seconds for this player when they're only worth one?
I mean, the Hornets got some picks that they could give up. I mean, I think this
And that's
I don't know.
true.
It's gonna be a
I'm not,
lottery pick.
and that's true. But you got to be careful what you give it up for. And like Siakam, I'm not giving up 3 first round picks for a guy that might leave, And then Charlotte had a losing record. So I'm not doing that if I'm Charlotte. Your next option is Levine. Do Levine want to come to Charlotte? Okay, what is the Bulls looking
And,
back for in return?
and I want to speak on
Three
some.
first round
I'm looking at some reports from way back because I may be making a mistake. I hope I'm wrong. Um, but it says that in exchange for the Knicks' 19th overall selection, the draft rights to Kai Jones, the Hornets traded their 2024 first round pick to New York. This pick went to the Big Apple with some protections on it, though, as
Mhm,
it was top 18 protected in
mhm.
2022. I'm looking at some stuff, so I mean, I need to look into this, but I don't even think the Hornets have a pick.
And that's what I was saying.
I'm
But
about to verify this, but I'm looking into it now.
casual
This would be
said,
devastating.
casual said no, they still got their pick. And I was like, how when the pick that
Shout out to Mark Tate in the building.
oh.
But go ahead, Purple.
No, I was like, that's we just gonna wait to the draft because casual said that 2024 pick, what you just said, had protections on it. And I was like, when they traded that pick at the time, the league had a rule. You can't trade consecutive years. The when they moved Kai Jones, it wasn't originally for the 2024 pick. It was for
That's somebody got to get fired behind that.
it was for shit. He got drafted in whatever year he got drafted. It was for the next year, which means that the next year, the year after he got drafted, that's the pick that they traded to New York, which means the 2023 pick had protections.
Wow.
When Atlanta, whoever traded the pick, Atlanta, I believe, had their 2023 pick. So when Atlanta traded that pick, Charlotte, because it's conveyed, I found out they conveyed it so they could get Miller. So I was like, because the rule changed, the CBA thing changed, so they could trade consecutive years now. And I was like, but the whole deal took place prior with the picks prior to. So do that qualify? Like we'll find out during the draft, basically. Because I don't know. And what's crazy is San Antonio might not even keep it if they really do got Charlotte's pick. Because I was looking, they have the Raptors. I think it's the Raptors' first round pick also. So plus they
Yep, you're right about that. So basically, this all happened in the 2021 draft where they traded. They basically traded for Kai Jones and they
yeah
traded their future first round pick, which is the
with protection.
2024 first. The Knicks own this pick. Did they trade it to San Antonio?
Oh, no, they traded. So the Knicks traded it to Atlanta. Atlanta traded it to San Antonio.
Okay, well, bottom line is the Hornets don't have it. So the Hornets don't even have. Listen, I'm trying to explain to you the writing is on the wall. If this
But I
trade
Purple.
told
goes
you,
down with Indiana,
ain't
man,
nobody
Melo got
trying
to walk
to.
in that office.
Can I
Ain't
Um,
interject,
nobody
bro?
trying to talk to them. That'll be the best thing for them. But Lamelo also has what's called the poison pill contract, so it's that too. But that's the best thing they could do. You see, the Wizards is looking for 3 first-round picks for Kuzma. I'm like, yo, if y'all don't be realistic and get 1.5, 1 first and 2 seconds, y'all better go somewhere. Kuzma deserved to get his money, but whatever.
Flight, can I say something, guys?
Hello.
What's good?
Flight, this is Marvin, man. Hello, Purple Baby.
Hey, you
What's good,
Philly?
Marvin?
What's up?
Yeah, man. I've been listening to you guys for a little while. I just stopped in to holler at you guys. Thought I could
Okay.
just say hello to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, appreciate you for
Uh,
stopping by.
yeah, man. I see y'all still hard at it, man. It's like you be going hard. I got to hand it to you, boy. You go hard in the paint.
Yeah, I
Where
appreciate
is
it.
Dex? Is Dex upset about his Cowboys? Just let him know and stop
Well,
being
you know what? You know, around these days, it's hard to find those guys. You know,
mean.
the Cowboys fans, they want a wall on me.
Wait a minute, what happened? Wait a minute, Flight. What happened, Flight?
I
They
mean,
all run off.
yeah, they ran off on us, man. The Cowboy
Oh
fans, they
man.
tucked away somewhere. They waiting on that. They waiting on something to go down, so they can come
Well,
out. Yeah, things have changed. Ain't nothing changed. I mean, I
well,
couldn't even. I want to do a stream on the Cowboys. Just give me a chance. I'm waiting on some Cowboy fans, man. I got something special, man. For real.
you got to
Be
give
on
them.
the
You
lookout
might
in
have to give
about.
them about another month, man, until they
I'm gonna give
calm
them about
down.
another day or two. And
But no, man, I was just stopping. I ain't gonna cut you guys off. I wouldn't. I didn't know what you guys were into today. I just wanted to say
oh
hello to
well,
everybody, man.
I appreciate. Well, now that you're here, we discussing the Charlotte Hornets right now. The Indiana Pacers. The reports are saying that they are on the verge and they are near a deal in trading for Pascal Siakam, and the deal would include Bruce Brown, 3 first-round picks. And like I said, I'm seeing the writing on the wall. Indy is fighting. They starting to climb the standings. Um,
Wait. You say Indiana is getting these players? Who they giving up
No, I didn't say they was getting it. I says the reports. This is coming from Shams that Indiana is close. You
to
know,
acquiring?
yes, and Bruce Brown is in it. 3 first-round picks will be involved. And I'm
Oh,
trying to figure out if this deal was to go down. Like I said, you got Edwards, you got Halliburton, you got Mello. These
man,
three are synonymous. They're gonna be together. There's gonna be almost like Carmelo, Wade, and LeBron. To a
right.
certain extent. I'm seeing these two guys take their next steps with their teams, and I'm seeing Lamelo just stuck in the Stone Ages. And I'm just saying, if this deal was to go down, if I'm Lamelo, I'm really going in the office and having a serious conversation because I
Well,
believe they're gonna fire Mitch Kupchak. You're gonna have all these teams gonna be coming off their playoff runs, maybe a fucking conference finals run, messing around with Minnesota, and then you're gonna have a new front office. Talking about the same old bullshit.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
what's
Fight,
your thoughts
long
on it?
time ago we talked about how they was trying to lock Melo up into just like a cage almost. I mean, that organization, he's the face of the organization. It's hard for them to let him go. So he's just in a precarious situation, man. And I don't know. I talked about it a long time ago. I hadn't followed him here recently, but I know what he's going through. And just picture him on just about any other winning team. He would be dynamic.
Yes.
He
Could you
would be
imagine him in New
dynamic.
York? Could you imagine him in Oklahoma City?
Man, he would be dynamic.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. L.A. I'm
Oh,
just
come
throwing that
on,
out.
man. Wow, man. I mean, all of you can picture team. You can go team by team. Minnesota. I'm serious. He would fit Phoenix.
Send him to
He'd
New
be sweet.
Orleans.
Boy, he'd be even better in Phoenix. Oh man.
Oh man, that's a
Ooh
long
wee.
shot. But the Phoenix would be
He. Oh
crazy.
boy, if he was
But
in
if you can
Phoenix,
get
he'd
him
be
in New
cold.
Orleans,
Oh
with
yep. I
Bi and
mean,
Zion,
well, here's a question I have for you guys because I hadn't been following him. Did he sign or is he up for his contract? Is it coming up? What's going on?
Melo was locked up.
Oh
They
boy.
all locked up. Him, Edwards, and Halliburton.
Well, I mean, that don't mean nothing. He's still gonna opt out. Oh, but I mean, hey, I don't think. I think if he stays there, his talent will never really be, shown as well as he can play. Because if he's on a winning team, he'd be something truly special.
Right. Man,
You
listen,
know.
I want to hope so. Because like I said, it's just been a whirlwind of a mess. But how would you see a situation with Pascal going to Indiana? How dangerous would they be? Because you're talking about keeping their center and Turner,
I
possibly
mean,
even keeping Healed. You got a nice collection of young pieces, and of course Halliburton,
so
Obi. I mean, what do you think about how dangerous would they be?
well, see, and you remember when you mentioned that to me, I asked you what were they getting back in return. Are you saying they're just giving up first round picks, or are you giving up some
Well,
players on
reports
this
are
team?
just saying right now Bruce Brown and 3 first-round picks. Obviously, it could be more to the deal. I'm pretty sure it's going to be another name that we just don't know. Maybe
For
one of them younger
Pascal going
players.
to Indiana?
Well, it's not a
Wow.
guarantee. These are reports.
Well, hey man, that would. Oh wow. I mean, come on, man. Indiana's already on the verge. I'm not gonna say Pascal's gonna make the team that much better, but he's gonna definitely make it better. And then if they start gelling, they can even be better. And I mean, wow. I mean, whew, I don't know. I mean, the size will be there, and then Pascal. I don't know if you've seen his playoff games, though. He's kind of erratic, man, in the playoffs. Maybe sometimes taking too many shots, bad shots, whatnot. But I don't know. He might gel. I mean, and it's kind of well, it's not real late in this season, so you get a chance to play. But it would be a hell of a combination. I think it would. I think it would work pretty well. But saying how far they would go, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I don't know. I have to see him play. It sounds good. It looks good on paper, I guess. But sometimes it doesn't always work that way. But it could. I think it could. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I hope so. Like
Well,
I said,
listen,
we
man. I'm not gonna hold you because I got some things I
appreciate
got
you,
to
Marv.
stop, man. I wanted to holler at everybody and just say hello, man. I'm gonna be stopping back in periodically. Just to let you guys know, I took off for a long period of time, man, because I remember I told you I had lost my wife. Well, right after that, I had my prostate swollen on me, man, and I went through a lot, guys. And this past November 12th, I had major prostate surgery, no cancer. 2 days before Christmas, I had no more pain. God is good, guys, and I'm back. So just want to say that and just hey, wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year too, because I hadn't got a chance to, man. Good to
Yeah,
hear from
well, Marv, man, I want to definitely wish you the best, man. And like I said, I'm praying for you, man. All jokes aside, hopefully
Oh
you.
yeah, man. Seriously, it was a journey, man. But oh man, I tell you, because right now to this day, my surgery was on November 12th, and they were scheduled for me not to be up and moving until about November 21st, I think they said. Hell, I was 2 days before Christmas. I had no pain, so I've been doing pretty well, man. And
Well,
I'm gonna be stopping in until Dex. I need to holler. I want to talk to all you guys, and also I want to say this to you too. Like, congratulations on your Knicks. What I've always told you, the Knicks gonna be all right, especially when they got Brunson. I've told you. And that's my last question to you. How long is Brunson out? Is he hurt?
I don't. I mean, I didn't get the timetable. I didn't think it was nothing severe. You know.
Yeah, he didn't play. Like he didn't play last night, and they lost to the Magic.
Yeah, you're right about that. That was a
Yeah.
tough
So,
loss.
but hey, man, salute to everybody, man. You keep it up, flight. Purple baby. Good to hear from you guys.
All right, Marv, take it easy, man. I wish you the best of health.
All right, well.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate Marvin, man. Marvin definitely a big time legend around here. We want to definitely hope he have the best health situation. Like I said, he dealing with a loss. We definitely in his corner, man. We're gonna hang in there for you. But it's a mess. How dangerous would Indiana be, Purple? I mean, with this move.
I mean, they be pretty interesting, like you said to Marvin. Like he moves a little bit of the needle that they need. They would still need another piece. To me,
You're right about that. I mean, obviously, I mean, they definitely would be a lot closer. Especially a lot closer than the Charlotte Hornets.
hmm
But you're right about that. Another piece would be needed, but they would definitely be much more competitive in that
hmm
middle of the pack. In the East, I think that will put them in the middle. Pascal is a champion. You know, but like I was saying, all jokes aside, I was talking about Quentin Grimes for Charlotte. It was a report today that Quentin Grimes out of New York, and that's another guy. You know, you look at Emmanuel quickly. You know, I'm not saying it could be a similar kind of impact. You know, because you got these guards in New York. I mean, Brunson is so good. I mean, I'm happy that we got a point guard because it's been a long time since the Knicks have had a solid point guard. But these guys are taking the back burner, you know, and I don't think people are seeing how good these guys really are. Like quickly, a starting point guard now. You know, the Hornets, if they acquired Quentin Grimes, he would be an upgrade over a lot of their talent that they have right now. Defensively, offensively, he would fit everything what's going on in today's NBA, and he would be a good fit paired with Melo and Miller, and he fits the timeline. If I'm
Yeah,
Charlotte, I'm truly thinking about that. You know,
but
maybe I mean the Knicks got all these first round picks. They'll take a future. You know, I mean
right,
they should really
right.
consider that.
But I'm asking you, what is great? They can be calling these the Torontos and all, even New York. Any team they can call any team. That's how a phone works. But I'm asking you, what do they like? We know Terry has value. We know that Gordon Hayward, either he's not gonna get traded or he's gonna get bought out. I'm leaning towards the bought out option. Outside of Lamelo and Miller, really, how much value, and Terry Rozier, I'm gonna put him in that category also. How much value does anybody left on that team garner first round picks in return?
You said what? Say that
Is
again.
anybody worth a
Mhm.
first round pick outside of Lamelo Miller and maybe Terry?
Williams.
Okay,
Williams, you want the Williams out there. I don't think these guys be moving. Those are the highest value players to me in a trade would be Lamelo. And that's why I want to say something about Lamelo, and that's why I'm going with Charlotte. I think at some point they're gonna have to look in the mirror. You know, they don't have a first round pick next year. You understand? This team is god awful. You understand? Um, at what point do you see you guys are going nowhere? You know, nowhere. Um, you're not even competent. You're not trying to put no pieces. I'm trying to tell you, if they was to put Lamelo Ball on the table for a trade, they would get a haul. I mean, you talking four to five first round picks, um, multiple players. You know, this thing can get crazy. You know, and that could put Charlotte in a position where they might can reset and restart this organization. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but at some point they may have to look themselves in the mirror because they're going nowhere. They're not competitive. You know, at what point is Lamelo going to say, "Man, the hell with this"? I mean, he already got his money. I mean, this is bad. I think Lamelo need to start shaking the room up in there. You know, making it feel like go to the game in L.A. If it's a playoff game, go to the Staples Center, sit courtside. Start doing what Kyrie was doing, where you got rumblings and shit. And then they go make a trade and they go do something, or these are the things that need. It's too much shit. There's too much comfort going on now. Motherfuckers is shopping and shit in the midst of a losing streak. This is getting downright disgusting. What's going on here in Charlotte? This is disgusting.
yeah. I mean, that's what I've been thinking. Like, you still got a player in Brandon Miller, even if you feel like you can't get your franchise plus role players, in the draft or whatever. But maybe you just start rebuilding around Miller, keep Lamelo because they're gonna have to keep. I think outside of this year, he got a 5 year contract, so for 2 of the 5 years, and after those 2 years are up, just move on from him. You like I said, you still got Miller, and
I
you know
believe. Don't you believe it's gonna be a new front office coming in?
I do, and that's what I'm saying. With the new front office,
Yeah, let's just start moving ahead.
with the new front office, here's the big thing that we kind of keep dancing around. Every player gets injured. But LaMelo's ankles, man, like that's not a good thing and whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Like if they be like, okay, the new GM comes in, they won't say nothing right away. They'll keep LaMelo for the next 3 years, well, 2 years,
It's
because
gonna be
he's getting
interesting to
almost
see
up.
it's gonna be interesting to see what they say
Because
whenever
if you
whenever
if
they
if
start
it
speaking.
doesn't, didn't Zach come to the Bulls with not ankle injuries, but I know he didn't come injured. I think he was healthy, but I think we're gonna be looking at
I
if
ain't
the
gonna lie.
Hornets.
Eventually, they put listen. I ain't gonna lie. You brought that up. Eventually, they put pieces around Zach. Shit
But
just
look how long
went
it took.
haywire. But shit just went haywire. But they
Yeah.
eventually did.
But the smarter thing would have been to do what you outside of Minnesota at that time, having a mess in the backcourt, and they got rid of Levine, whether it was because of health or whatever. That would be smarter for the Hornets to do now anyway. When the new front office comes in and they GMs and stuff, it's okay. Dang, like not thinking about like LaMelo can't stay healthy. If you're not thinking about it from that space, it's just smarter for them to keep him for the next 2 years or year, and then say, let me, because I feel like even though LaMelo after 2 years can still be more valuable than Zach, I think because like it's people talking about Zach's contract and Zach not being worth that, and you don't want to look up when LaMelo's like 25, I think he would be at the end of this deal, and be like, well, dang, LaMelo's not worth it. And even though his contract would be over, trying to trade him within the last 2 years of that contract. Because I
I
think
don't.
he has
Right, I wouldn't.
value, but
It wouldn't be a fair assessment if they did evaluate it like that, though. Because like I said, they haven't given them anything to work with.
right.
Nothing. I'm just keeping it
And
real with. They haven't given them anything.
right. And I feel bad for Brandon, but I think I have a bad feeling that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna keep it's gonna be like the Zach LaVine situation. They're gonna keep him for 2 years, and then maybe in that second year of the new contract, even at the end of this one, which they not probably gonna get nothing because teams' money is just strapped up and whatever, but moving him, depending on what the draft class looks like in 2025, moving him. Because you still got a good player in Miller that you can start building around.
No, you're right about that. Miller is definitely a guy who you can. I think that he could be Lamelo's co-star, but it's just gonna take time. It might be next year, but I think it's more like year three for Miller. How much more time does Melo have while everybody start winning? You might have Indiana. They might be a top three seed in the next 2 years. They clearly go into the postseason. Forget about Minnesota.
Because I would ask you this.
What is it?
He to me, it's gonna be the Trey Young situation where you just looking and you thought that Trey Young was making Atlanta look attractive, but yet they can't get nobody in there. So now it's like it's been, I think, for the past 3 years, maybe, or two for sure, about him being moved. Like,
I
like
want to. I want to speak to something. That when you're done, go ahead.
you can go.
Because I want to speak because listen, I don't think it's a fair assessment because listen, I'm talking to the Charlotte Hornets have a true talent deficiency. The Atlanta Hawks have talent. I'm just telling you. You talking about DeAndre Hunter alone is better
No.
than everybody on the Charlotte right now. I mean, just about not Miller. I mean, he would be. I mean, I'm taking him over PJ. I mean, Bridges.
Right,
I
right,
mean,
right.
you don't know. We're very. Look, I'm almost through with Miles Bridges. I mean, it's like I'm hanging on the thread. Pause. But what I will say is this: you got well, they traded Herder, but they have the other guy. What is it, Bogdanovich? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Um,
that
yeah,
guy from
yeah, yeah.
Sacramento.
That dude is a sniper. You got Capella. You got the young kid who played with Lonzo. Um, you got talent in Atlanta. I don't think it's a fair assessment, but you are right because Atlanta they even end up making a damn conference finals run. Trey didn't do it all by himself. the team can't. He was able to be that cornerstone. They put pieces around Trey, and they wasn't all superstars. And eventually, they did pull the trigger and go for. They traded, I think, 3 first-round picks to get. Was it 3 or 4? I think it was 3, if I'm not mistaken, to go get DeJounte Murray. It just didn't work out, or it's not working out, or they don't have enough time to see it through. But they eventually made a move and to get a superstar next to him. It's just, but it is.
But again,
Got to give Atlanta credit. I want to see Charlotte do what Atlanta did.
Atlanta, like it's done because, like I said, Trey probably 9 out of 10 probably get traded this offseason, but it's a GG. Like I don't think it's no player outside of Zach that they could bring in, because I would say this, like obviously it didn't work with him and Murray, but whom can you put in the backcourt with him is my question. Like I think they've tried like the defensive 3-and-D guy. Cam Reddish didn't work out. Hunter, like, do you put another scorer back there with him? Because people talk about his playmaking and it's good and all, but how do you seamlessly make it work with Trey as your leading guy?
You got a good point.
And that's why I'm saying, like Atlanta, it's I'm sorry to say it, but it's just time for them to move on and find. This ain't the time for them to move on because this draft is cheeks, but it's just take your losses now and become better later.
Well, we want to hope that would be the case, but like I said, only time will tell.
Because for whether it's on DeJounte or Trey, I don't understand why it didn't work out. Like what happened? Was it health? Like what was it that duo did not work? We can say that it took Cam, whether you feel like Cam Reddish is still development, he is what he is. Herter is nothing but a shooter. So, Clint Capella, he's not a bad player. He's decent, but John Collins was just sitting there complaining. I don't think like Atlanta could pull off anything really.
I don't know. I definitely like their pieces a lot more than what's going on with Charlotte. But it is what it is.
I agree, Bartrand, about Shea Gilgis and what's the name?
You're
Like
right
I
about.
just don't think Charlotte is that place. That's what I
Well, I
just
mean,
think.
you got Sam Presti there. I mean, you got to look at the fools that's in Charlotte. They got
But
actual
see, what is
good people.
what is OKC gonna do? Is OKC satisfied with the current
They in the
team
best.
they
They're in a
have?
hell of a situation.
Because I told people, oh, Sam Presti. I said, no, he's not. Because if these guys turn out to be good, like Chet and the two Williams men, I'm not gonna call them boys, the two young men out there, which they turning out to be pretty okay. What are you like? He got, I think, 2 picks this year, upcoming, or 3. It might be 3 in this upcoming draft. Like, what you gonna like? You seen before this season started, if I'm thinking correctly, they had to trade for I think Bertans it was for salary because they was underneath the cap. But everybody he was like, oh, he's I said, no, he not. Like he gonna have to get rid of bro, they gonna be you gonna have the greatest G League team, I guess, because what you gonna like so for whatever they gonna do, they don't have to move in a hurry though.
Yeah, they're gonna be cool. I think they're gonna have to figure something out. I think the writing is gonna be on the wall. And the answer is to make a big move. Um, just make a move. I think people will be happy. A competent move to make it look like you're trying to be competitive, because all accounts to me looking like you're trying to lose. It looked like this is you don't ever hear nobody. I give the Knicks credit. I know they ended up firing Steve Mills, but I remember when the Knicks was getting off to a bad start, they eventually got on the podium and they spoke. You don't hear shit from Mitch Kupchak, the new ownership. Everybody done went into hiding,
But
and nobody is addressing what the hell is going on, the direction, what's the plan, and
well, like
and,
I told
and
you,
nobody's speaking on that.
I always felt, especially after that first year, but more confidently after that second year. I even though PJ is young and Bridges is young, and we know Lamelo is young, I always, when I looked at them, as good as Lamelo, for the lack of a better term, made Bridges look, I always felt like they weren't working as, like, it wasn't as seamless as we thought it was. I felt like I was looking at three different guys on three different timelines. And the timeline is still an issue there in Charlotte, because now, for the 4 years LaMelo outside of his health, mentally, how much has he grown from a basketball perspective? How far is Miller from LaMelo? Because this is an adjustment period as far as looking at NBA defenses, offenses, and understanding what you like. You gotta have, like, it's just weird. Like, they got three different. I've always said they got three different timelines. They got the Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward timeline. LaMelo was in a timeline to me by himself, and then you had PJ and Bridges in their timeline.
You're right, but it's time to start cutting timelines, man.
Yeah.
Some of these people just ain't fitting the bill. What's up with PJ? I mean, what's your thoughts on him?
It is, and I really want to ask, because I be listening to other channels, and the Hornets recently came up on the channel that I was listening to, and they was like, "Well, only person I would trade for him from Charlotte," and I'm guessing that's because they feel like Lamelo's not available. Was PJ, and I keep asking myself, are they watching the games? I mean, I understand, y'all watch PJ, especially if you out west, once or twice a year. Stats are one thing, and even I'm like, but you can tell from his stats, like, do y'all feel like Charlotte's playing him wrong? Like, I don't understand the love for PJ outside of the Charlotte fan base that people see. I think it's a Grant Williams and Robert Williams thing with him, but I'm like, he's not that. Trust and believe.
It's a mess. It's a messed up situation, going on in Charlotte, in my opinion. I just don't. I don't get it.
And I said that, rap guy. I've been saying, like I said, after that second year when I was really looking, because, brother, I would say I was wrong on this with Lamelo. Let's say Lamelo was behind PJ and Miles as far as timeline and just naturally understanding the game and whatever, which I don't think he was. You didn't have anybody, because Kai Jones was in the G. Not Kai Jones, my fault. Bernie Carey and Nick Richards, the two guys that you drafted with him, was in the G League. He was the only player, because of where he was drafted, I guess, that you brought in and you played on that roster. He got valuable minutes. Like, you had two vets in Terry Rozier, which wasn't bad at the time. Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward that was with him, but everybody else was outside. Like, PJ, like, people have to understand that. What makes Memphis work was, I hope a lot of people recognize that Dylan Brooks, I forget how many years he was there before Ja came there. I think it was like 2 or 3. But eventually when they brought Ja in, he fit seamlessly, no matter how good or bad you thought Dylan Brooks was. Even with Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr., it made sense. Not only because they played those guys, they moved veterans out the way, whether it was to the bench or they traded them to get those guys playing time. What I didn't understand is, it's cool if you bring in Gordon Hayward. It's cool if you re-sign Terry Rozier, as long as they know, hey, Bridges is gonna have to get some time. Hayward, PJ, no, nobody plays PJ's position, because we want to build around this guy going forward, or we think this guy is a franchise piece. So we need to know who not to pay, who to pay, who to put on the trade box, who to make look good, so we can get them out of here and whatever else. And I think it hurt them when they cut Caleb. Like, I don't think they really wanted to get rid of Caleb at all. But like, it's sentimental is what Charlotte is in Mitch Kupchak to me.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You know
Even with Halliburton,
yeah,
Chris, I hate pronouncing his name, but
Durante.
Duarte. I wasn't surprised that Indiana traded him and whatever. I don't hate Chris for anything, but they traded him. But even with them, Halliburton is their guy. They're going to go get pieces that make sense to fit around him. They're going to get pieces that might get rid of pieces rather that will throw their offense out of whack. Same thing with, or defense for that matter, lack thereof, because we know they don't play any. Even with Anthony Edwards, same thing. Like, they're not going to bring in Gordon Hayward if they feel like, yo, first of all, you got to understand this is his team, this, that, and the third.
What you think Gordon Hayward would challenge some shit like that? Is he not at
No,
that
no.
level?
I'm saying if Gordon Hayward was on Minnesota in the first year and stuff like that, or if he was with, well, Namas do it like they did Lamelo, where Anthony Edwards came in as a rookie, but Gordon Hayward was already there with Cat, and it's not gonna be. I just think they brought Hayward in and promised Terry, hey, y'all the franchise, we're gonna get guys that compliment you guys. We're a playoff team. And then LaMelo came in, like I said the other day. To me, they had no plan, and you can tell right now they still don't have a plan, never intended to have a plan, because we got to remember, we can think LaMelo was great all we want to, but how did people describe him in his draft portfolio prior to him getting drafted? What were every player has critiques, but it was hard for people for a long time, I would say up until a month before the draft, to ever say that he was worth a top 3 pick because of all his deficiencies that he had.
You're right. I know if the Knicks had the #1 pick, I want to know what they would have did, because I remember Stephen A. was advocating for LaMelo. I remember,
Right.
still went. If the Knicks got it, he said, "Nah, if you're New York, you got to get LaMelo. You got to get
Like,
LaMelo. This New York."
like Wiseman, same thing with Wiseman. I feel so bad for him because he broke the NCAA rules and whatever. But I think it's BS, with that situation too. But it was shocking. The Warriors, and it's crazy for them to do what they did out of spite. It's so weird to me. But even with Wiseman, I'm like, I knew it wasn't gonna work, because I'm like, even if I'm wrong that the Warriors, because people were talking about, well, Bogut wasn't a stretch big, and I'm like, I just didn't feel right about that pick. And I'm like, they should have took LaMelo. People want to lie and make up alternative facts. It wasn't 2 days before the draft when the Warriors came out and said Clay was injured. If I remember, I think it was like almost a month beforehand where they was like, yo, Clay's not coming back. Clay's out for the season. I know they do so much scouting and stuff beforehand, but you need to make, like, you should have took LaMelo, bro. And you would have, what you got back from, I think it was Detroit when you traded Wiseman, you could have still traded LaMelo, get him developed to where you could get him developed to trade him, and you wouldn't be in this
That was wild how
situation.
they did that. You're right about
Remember, and then I was also telling people on other panels too with Wiggins. Yeah, Wiggins helped them get, Curry's ring and whatever. But it was the same thing. Charlotte, I don't know how D'Angelo Russell, Gordon Hayward, and Terry would have looked. But, hey, Charlotte, call up, because once again, LaMelo, the thing is, you were sure about Anthony Edwards. People talked themselves into being sure about Wiseman for the little games that they seen him play, which was crazy to me. He didn't play enough. Him and LaMelo, to be honest, yeah, LaMelo played some games overseas, but like it wasn't enough even at that time. But Halliburton, where they felt like Halliburton's ceiling, he was almost at his ceiling, and people like to play. No, he ain't. Yes, he is. He was almost at his ceiling. Patrick Williams wasn't even supposed to. Well, he was supposed to be in the lottery, just not really high. And you were questioning how good the draft class was. I guess at the time it made sense for the Warriors to, do the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, now you talking about trading Wiggins? That's terrible, bro. The Warriors is down bad, bro.
Yeah, Wiggins. I mean, I mean, would you? I'm trying to think. Would you take Wiggins in Charlotte? I mean, would he get in the
No,
way of? Would he get in the way of?
I don't think he's getting in the way, but no,
Really?
no, 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 no.
Winners need
Please
talent.
don't do that. Don't do that. But I tried to tell people. A lot of people don't realize Wiggins, to me, whether it's you consider he never had a problem scoring. It's just that he wasn't a number one guy. He's a role player. Like they found out about Carl Anthony
I
Towns.
remember when he was in Cleveland. Um, no, pardon me. I'm in Minnesota. I remember when he got drafted by Cleveland, and then he was supposed to team up with Kyrie. They said they closed all that shit down. I would like to have seen how that would have worked out.
Yeah, but like it's just sad. Like I think, and I will stand on this. The Hornets, I wouldn't say was surprised, but they were surprised by what Lamelo did. That first year and stuff like that. They had no plan at all. Like you could re-sign Terry, but trade Terry. You knew he didn't play defense. Lamelo, that is. Shooting, you didn't make the necessary justice. You stood on your square, and now you struggling to get people to take your players.
Yeah, Michael started to embrace him at the end, though.
Yeah, but the beginning is what matters.
Yeah, I remember he was telling Melo before he drafted. You spoke to Melo already. So I
Hmm.
mean, there was he was at the workouts. He was there for when all of the picks came, so he was able to get a look. He had input on Miller getting drafted because remember Scoot was high on the board.
Hmm.
So had input on making sure they got the player that was going to fit best with him.
Hmm. Yeah,
He was
but that's
involved
what
this
I'm
all season.
saying. Do you believe?
He
No,
need to
if
be
we're
involved.
not looking at
I think
age,
I don't mean to cut you off. Their best bet is to involve him in everything because at this point, I guess the last straw will be him going in there saying, "You know what? I just want out." So they need to
but
involve
he can still be
everything.
involved.
Go ahead.
What I would say is either way they in a lose-lose situation because he might not have no ill intent, but a smart man ain't gonna show his hand. Yeah, you want me to draft, and I'm not saying that's what happened with Miller because I think Miller's gonna be a good player, but a smart man will always be like, some of them are so good-hearted that they'll set you up and to where they do something nice, but they still want out. So he can still be like help them draft good players, players that are fit around, Miller. Because I believe you can build a team like how you would build a team around LaMelo, as far as playmaking and shooting. You could do the same thing for Miller. So he could be like, yo, draft this guy, or I want to play with this guy and still want to leave. So he'll learn in business that you really ain't supposed to do that. Just agree with whoever they looking at, be like, yeah, you should go ahead and get them so you can get out. But I don't think LaMelo has a really evil bone in his body like that for real. So he'll probably be genuine and be like, nah, like, take this guy. Try to set them up on a.
Nah, I think he gonna pick the guy that's gonna be best suited for winning. I mean, Scoot Henderson, you could tell that wasn't the guy.
I don't think, because again, LaMelo was. I don't think he had his new deal. They were probably in talks, but let's just say that he didn't have his new deal yet, if I remember correctly. That wouldn't have been smart either way to say, yeah, go ahead and take Scoot unless you were on your way out. Like, I truly don't think he want to leave. But that wouldn't have been smart anyway. Like, oh, let me go. That's crazy. Ain't nobody, you foolish. If you ever go get a guy that plays the same, let the GMs do that on their own. Play the same position as you. That's not how that works. and you on the last year of your deal too, you real attractive. Yeah, they about to go ahead and get you out of here.
Yeah, you're making some good points, Purple Vine. You know, it's a mess, man. Charlotte need a lot of help. You know, I don't know what's the quick fix. Is there any way that this season is over? You know, I know you're not. There's no way to salvage this season. When do they pull the plug on Melo? Like, when does Melo say, you know what?
I let me
When do
look
they
at.
shut him down? After All Star break?
I don't think he should have. I don't think they should have brought him back.
Right, but I mean, you got to
Because
think if you didn't bring Melo back, that would have created more narrative. Oh man, look at the injuries, and even though he's not even hurt, he's healthy. But him just being out would just create narratives. But I think they do need to shut him down. You know, because
well, by NBA
I say
rules,
after All Star break, they'll shut him down somewhere
they
after
can't
All
though.
Star break.
They can't though because of the new rules. That's why I said he shouldn't. They shouldn't have even let him
They
come
need to
back
put
to
them on them
play.
heavy minutes. They need to take it easy, especially if they play. I'm just saying this because they be playing for nothing. That's the only
Right.
reason why I'm saying that.
So he got 2, 4. Yeah, he got a 5-year deal. Now I don't know how much because I need to go find a contract, which they probably wouldn't release it to the public. But I know Lamelo got incentives for the All Star game, for the All NBA team, and that's probably it. Because I think he would get the full 260 million by accomplishing both. I feel like I'm missing something. Or yeah, playoffs. I think they put that he had to make the playoffs as an incentive. So as I'm looking at his contract, starting in 24-25, he's making $35.5 million. And then the next year he's making 38. Now I don't know if that's with the incentives or if that's just without them. But if it's without the incentives, he then in that contract is still hard to trade in a way. After that, he would have 41, 44, and 46.
Making out pretty good based on what
Hello.
we put in.
Shout out Devastator.
What up? What up? What up?
Ooh, my feet. Oh.
I know you heard about this win.
Trying to get in on the Siakam trade situation. Anybody
Well, I mean,
got the text
like the
message or something?
report says that India is close on it. What you think about that?
What was they trying to give up or do? I didn't get the details of it. I just saw your headline was like the first one I saw. I didn't really try to go into it until after I got on the stream to see if they got any progress or whatever. But it looked like they're still talking. So have you heard? I don't know. Are they going to go straight up or what's the deal?
I'm
What's up?
hearing Bruce Brown 3 first-round picks. That's what Shams is reporting.
And Buddy Hill will be
Three?
on the move also with that deal.
Say that again.
I heard Bruce Brown and 3 first-round picks, and Purple said Buddy Hill
But
will be on the move too.
yep, we talked about this. I knew they was gonna move him.
3 picks. 3 picks from the same year.
Well, nah, I'm pretty sure maybe
Three
stretched
three
out.
years in a row. 3 years for Siakam. Damn,
He won 3 first-round picks. I mean,
that's a lot, man. That's a
I
lot,
mean,
bro.
it's Masai Ujiri. He's gonna get what he wants. It's not Mitch Kupchak.
Mm.
It's a difference. You see? You see the difference in ownership and I mean front in the front office.
You know they're gonna give up that much, man. Maybe one or two, but
Why the Hornets don't get in the mix?
they don't have no leverage.
See, they got no leverage.
No.
Now they got to get in the mix of this deal.
Anything they get in, the probability of them actually losing or coming up in a situation where their odds are stacked even more are high. It's gonna be hard for them to gain anything, no matter what they draw, based on what they got right now, bro. They don't have any marketing. They don't have any incentive. Uh, there's only so much juice you can squeeze out of LaMelo, yo. Even you talking about sitting him down, you don't even want him to play.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I get
because
your point, though. Man. I get your point.
Yep. I mean, the time to do that was they shouldn't have allowed him to come back and play his what it's been 2 games so far. I would have kept him out because you ain't going nowhere. Just like what's the name? They said I don't know if you got sick with mono again or what's the case, but same thing with Miller. Yeah, they still. I would have went and lied my ass off. Yeah, they not ready yet. They still having discomfort. They don't have nothing about value, and it's just not. I don't think as good as I think Siakam is, him nor Levine ain't a guy. They ain't them guys that you trade 3 first-round picks for. Now, if you talking about like,
Franchise players.
yeah, that's not what you do. Like Minnesota is lucky that it's working out for them because
Yeah.
that wasn't smart for them to do either.
At the time they did it.
Yep.
yeah, that was a lot that they gave up for him.
Oh, yes,
That was
sir.
almost too much. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
Be
That's true.
competitive. There's a lot of teams doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I the Hornets are sentimental. Is and you it's important that you get guys like let me see something because I want to know what year. Do you know what year Shea Gilgeous is in?
Nah, not by heart. I'll look it up.
Because yeah, it's younger guys around Shea too now that I'm thinking about it. But it's the maturity of his game. He knows who he is as a player. Confidence and all of that. And I don't think LaMelo lacks confidence, but is his game mature? That's the only way I can see you continually able, even with Shea, people are saying that team still need vets and whatever. I hope they realize Lou Dort been on that team for a minute, like for a long. He was on there before Shea. I can't think of how long he was on there, but I know he was on there before Shea Gilgeous was. But
Yeah, he came out in 18, purple.
okay, so yeah, and Chris Paul came in and dropped his little toolage for them and whatever, which certainly helped. But is Lamelo's game mature? Is what I would ask. Does Lamelo know who he is as an NBA player?
That's a good question. I mean, I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, they got to get this man some help, man. Period. You can't win in the NBA by yourself. It's not the same. It's not the early 2000s.
Because
You got. It's not set up like that no more.
because even though we know when I look at Miller, that don't mean he won't make adjustments to his game. But when I watch him, I feel like he looks like I was about to say AJ. Like Al said, it's not that he's scared. It's just the offense, how they got the offense set up. But when I watch him, I look at even with Scoot, I look at guys that I know. Oh yeah, they got to get better at this part of their game or that part of their game. But they know what kind of game they have. They're confident in their game. Like they know what it is. They know what they need to get better in. When I look at LaMelo, it's not that I don't see that. I just feel like he is so confident in that 3-point shot falling that he feels, I guess I can work on this, but I don't really need to because this is my game. I'm an outside in type of guy. And I think that's the wrong approach to take.
You don't like his long ball?
I do, but I just feel like I always say this. it's an 82 game season. Guys always have bad games. But to me, I'm in fear that LaMelo will have more bad shooting games than the rest of his draft class or his peers because of how he plays. Like we talk about it with Curry all the time. As good as Curry came into this league and changed how teams approach the 3-point line to, offensively and defensively, people feel that Curry, hey, listen, just because you make them don't mean you should take them all the time like he takes them and stuff like that. So people put Dame in that conversation where they like Dame takes ill-advised threes too many times. Like when I look at LaMelo, it's like it's cool when it's falling, but when it's not falling, I just feel like a big part of his game from a shooting perspective is missing because I don't sense the confidence that I see in Scoot or even Miller when they're like, okay, my 3-point shot ain't falling. Or for Scoot, it would be anything in the mid range or at the basket. So let me lean on this until I can get this to fall. I feel like LaMelo is so reliant on that three to fall that when it's not falling, and I've been wanting to say this for a minute, how translatable is his playmaking when he's not scoring?
I mean, we know how to dish it off. Um,
But uh, how is he though?
yeah, it's tough for me to call. I don't. I might not be able
Yeah,
to.
because we know he can still improve. I
Yeah,
just feel like I hate when I say that he's easy to defend. I don't care what shooters you put around him. If he's not having, and it goes for anybody, but especially somebody like him. We know guys shots don't fall for 82 games. They shots don't fall. But with him, I just look at a guy and I'm like, yo, he he don't attack the basket. He like it's weird.
there you go. The points in the paint don't necessarily have to be a highlight dunk, but you should be able to. I mean, we've seen Curry make adjustments. At 2015, 2016,
Mhm.
we're not seeing Curry fake a three or work to try to change his position and then go all the way to the rack. I mean, even for dunks, I'm seeing on the last few weeks, he's literally making a conscious decision, and sometimes with no coverage. Um, so I don't know if that's a model. Maybe he's getting tired. I mean, I know he's missing more shots than he's making in game.
Yeah, like I want the best for LaMelo, don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
just like it's so frustrating. And that's when these past couple of months, like when people think I'm hating, no, I'm not hating. I'm just
Nah.
frustrated because I'm looking at him and I'm like, I acknowledge, fine, he's a good 3-point shooter. He do take a little too much, but he is a good 3-point shooter. But we know it's 82 game season plus the playoffs. When it's not falling, is he really that effective as a playmaker? Because he still needs something outside of that 3-point shot to be effective to make the defense choose. Like, I don't think he makes defenses choose. I think it's simple. Let's see how he is in the first two quarters or even in the first quarter. And because stuff can happen at any time. Like he could get hot at any time. You definitely have to keep that in the back. But that's why adjustments are made to the defense as far as him offensively.
What's up, family?
Ooh,
What
that
up?
voice sounds familiar. Who is this?
What's up, Perk?
What's up?
What's up, fam?
What's up, man?
I'm I- I'm trying to see when y'all really going to adjust to this offense. You heard me?
Mhm.
I'm really trying to understand this because as much as we we, we look at this offense, and as much as oh Lord, this offense does not come together we just don't see it like stitched together. When are we just gonna throw it out and bring like just
They don't
all
have a
put
locker room guy.
together? Like yeah, like just put together another one. Like build another like playbook. Like I'm really trying to see it.
Is that on the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, we seen it from preseason. I mean, if this is really the case, we need to dig up old boy who had the triangle offense and bring that back to like, don't we?
Tex Winter. Yeah, yeah. We see Popovich has his team excited, and you know I'm seeing constant highlight reels night after night of this guy.
I mean, cause that I mean, wasn't the highlight of bringing Bridges back was supposed to re-energize the offense and like really like energize the whole team? Uh, 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 uh was I wrong?
I don't know if it was held all on Bridges, but I know he. I mean, they were really kind of leaning on him to at least solidify uh, what they already had. So I guess in the long term, yeah, to answer your question,
Uh, uh, am I wrong, Purple?
What did you say? I stepped away for a minute. I had a phone call.
Um, uh, am I wrong with believing that all this was supposed to be Bridges was supposed to be the Energizer Bunny?
I mean, that's what I heard too. I ain't even gonna cap. But I told people, I said he hasn't played in a year, but he been working out. Guys come back from injury and they work out prior to the season. No, it takes a minute. It takes a minute. And you see he slowed down and reality hit him. He was probably really sore.
Okay,
Practice
so
is practice. And from what we hear, they don't practice like that, like they supposed to. Rather, they come in and hoist up a couple of shots and then they go on about their business. They might
okay,
run a couple of plays.
okay, so uh, all right, so I overall I will say this. M- I cannot put it all on Bridges. I cannot put it all on Ball. I cannot put it all on coaching. And here's why. You even on my team, right? I you have to want this, and here's why I say that. You literally have to want this day in and day out. You you have to bring the the extra part of your game, like attacking the rim. You that little extra of the kick out, the the how, how can I really say this? The extra effort of that you bring within your game, that when you hit that gym, has to be within you. And I don't know if it's the organization, or I don't know if it's the players at this point. Even old man Ish brings it. So I I I just don't know at this point. Even even the third center, Richards, who they didn't invest a lot in, is bringing it. Because remember, they they didn't even think they didn't invest a lot in Richards. Because remember, um a lot was invested in Williams. It wasn't invested in Richards. So the silver lining has been Richards overall, and the other silver lining has been um Miller, Miller, Killer Miller.
Mhm. Yeah. Like I said, timelines are the most important thing. We gotta look at, like, I think Lamelo's IQ. I just feel like you still looking at, you can make Lamelo, even with Mark Williams, and you can make it work, but is it worth it to make it work? Is my question.
I
Even
mean,
with Gordon finally becoming out the way and possibly Terry, is it worth it? Because you're gonna have to play your new guys. I don't know why people think that when it comes to Charlotte, like, the new guys don't get to play. That's not how it works. Almost everybody on OKC that was young that they took gets to play. Even if they going back to the G League, they actually, even this year, getting actual minutes. I think it's Jalen Williams is the one that was in the G League, that's in and out the G League, because Jalen is playing.
hold on, say what?
My Clipper Jalen Will.
No, the two in OKC.
Oh,
Jalen
oh, that's what I mean. OKC.
Jalen is from Arkansas, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
Jalen is from Santa Clara. The
yeah.
one from Santa Clara is the one that last I checked the depth chart that's starting. And then the other one is in and out the G League. But I think they might keep him out. I'll keep an eye on their roster though. Keep him in the roster rotation rather for minutes. That's the one I like, the one from Arkansas. No hate
Yeah, he
against.
on the court. He on the court now.
Oh, shout out to. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, see, let's talk about bottom. Maybe not Orlando per se. Well, yeah, with Orlando. RJ Barrett, RJ Hampton was on the team for 2 years or maybe three. I think it was two. Whatever happened in the first year, it's not funny. But we knew, we was like, yeah, he ain't gonna be there. Yeah, they still got a guard issue problem, sort of, kind of, because they got Markel Fultz, Cole Anthony, and all of them, Gary Harris. But you seen they went and got him up out of there. Does that mean he can't ever play in the NBA again? No. You know, I don't think, like I said, the Hornets, and it wasn't a joke when I said it. I might have laughed after I said it. They run themselves as like they the San Antonio Spurs, and they still got Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker. And so they keep putting, even if Bailey does actually belong in the G League, Smith, outside of him rehabbing from an injury, yeah, send him to the G League, whatever. He's healthy now. For the people that still think, he needs another year in the, no, he don't. He shouldn't even be there. Y'all not the Spurs. Stop it. Stop it with the BS. because that's why a lot of their players aren't valuable. Either it's inadequate playing time with PJ. He's got the playing time. We don't know what's wrong with PJ. Maybe not motivated enough, satisfied with getting paid. We don't know. He went off and got delusional and thought he was really about to make bank like that in the free agency, but he came back down to reality. But you gotta show your players worth. And right now, even with Bryce, whether it's the team's fault or Bryce's fault for his lack of improvement, I kind of don't want to blame him because he's in the G League and they doing this with him one moment, then they bring him up here. He's playing out of position at the three. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop taking players and just hoisting them off to the. They love
Well,
to do that.
well,
The Lakers.
well, I'll honestly say this. PJ, y'all stole PJ a dream. PJ is actually playing out of position. Y'all sold PJ that he can play out of position, right? Y'all sold him that dream. If but y'all sold PJ that this is a positionless league. So with y'all selling PJ that dream, when PJ plays real power forwards within this league, he gets killed, right?
Right.
And he has bad nights. And then he's hard on himself. So the very next night, he has a bad game. But that's not PJ's fault. Because, first of all, he's a small forward playing power forward. So, but that's actually the organization fault because I said that in the all season that he's a small forward playing power forward. I actually said that in the off season that he needed to work on his cardio and play small forward. I said that. And remember, Spike was the one no, not Spike. That was that was
Dre, if you don't stop starting stuff,
no, that was Poke. Poke was the one that said I was wrong for saying that. And I was like, no, he's a small forward because I called out his dimensions and I called out his weight. And I was like, nah, bro, and I called out his dimensions and I called out his weight.
like same thing with New Orleans. You pay the people with not pay. You're playing the people with the money, but soon when New Orleans sees that these players have worth and they fit into their system and their process, they make sure that they get playing time. The Hornets is like it's frustrating, dog. It's so frustrating to watch. You literally devalued your players, whether it's from playing them out of position or not playing them enough and not putting them within a stable offense.
Bro, remember, I was the same one, believe it or not, I was the same one because I seen the way that they was playing and I seen the way that they was looking off each other trying to play rec ball basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I seen them at 11. Poke was I seen them at 11. Poke said he seen them at 8. I said, I don't see it. And I was like, okay. And I was quiet. Why did,
Almighty J. Oh.
why did I see him at 11? They was looking off Miller. They was, and they was looking off PJ. That's why.
But I seen Almighty J asking about Cody why he didn't start. For the same reason why, like, obviously Miles is not really making that much money, but I think right now currently he might, let me look. I think for this year he might be making more money than
Cody
Cody.
was Cody was hurt
Yeah,
at the beginning of
Cody.
the season.
Yeah, he's making more money. Miles is making more money than Cody, so that's probably why Cody's on the bench. But outside of his lack there of offense, he has defense but no offense. But
He was hurt at the beginning of the season, though.
yeah, I know, but he's injured. He's injured. Lord Jesus, don't wish that on that man. He's not injured right now. He and then they need the offense too. They need defense, but they need offense. So that's probably why he's not starting. They probably benched him for Miles. Because you can't bench him for PJ because Cody can't play power forward. But they need to get their house in order, basically, is all I'm saying. They gotta get these players on the same. What's working now? Like they gotta get these. They need roles. Everybody needs a role. You're my second leading guy. You're my third leading guy. So on and so forth. And they gotta get their house in order. Yeah, rookie season, but they ain't saying much. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. I wasn't watching them that rookie year. I didn't even know that they was twins until Lamelo had came. But the Hornets just like for Kenny Smith to say Lamelo don't have no help. And I'm like, man, Kenny wrong, but I guess Kenny seen it before we could even say it. And Miles Bridges, well, that's because they didn't know if he was gonna be playing, but like,
No, no, it wasn't that. What it was, okay, even though LaMelo had small, undersized centers, right? He
mhm.
had undersized centers that worked within the system. The organization got rid of every undersized center that worked within the system with him. The organization really did. So everybody that actually worked with LaMelo, the organization got rid of it and never really got other people to actually build with him. If you actually go back and look at the go back, look at the roster.
Mhm.
There was no other power forwards. There was no other shooting guard. There was no other small forwards.
I would ask you this. Going back to LaMelo, even if you didn't, you know, year two, you say, okay, we'll start building around him. What, in your opinion, is the simplest way, the most, not just simplest, but the most basic way that you can put an offense around him? Do you think you would have put him in pick and rolls and pick and pops?
I would have went. I literally would have went pick and roll.
Do you, when you watch him, do you felt like he gonna have struggles? So I'm gonna say year two. In year two, if you watched him closely, do you feel like he knew how to run pick and rock, pick and pick and rolls and pick and pops well? Do you think he understood it basically, like how to do
I,
it?
but here's why I say pick and rolls, because pick and rolls could have translated into pick and rolls could have easily translated into pick and pop if the play broke down.
Mm-hmm.
See, if the play broke down, it it developed into a pick and pop easily. If if it if a pick and pop.
Reloaded. Why do you say that? Because if I'm not mistaken, Clifford did say he simplified the offense a little more for Lamelo. So I want to know, what did he like? Not particular
Rap,
plays, because that's ridiculous. But what did he simplify? You know.
rap, rap. I think you tripping on that.
You was
Yeah,
trying to
'cause
make a
it
pick
just
and
got my
pop.
attention. Like, and I'm gonna be honest. I seen something today. Um, what was it for? It was an offense. You know how people into stats. I don't really care. But I was on Twitter and they was talking about offensive efficiency. You know, when players is on the court. LaMelo, because of injury, of course, was nowhere on that list. So in the comments, somebody said the problem is, and they said they had been saying it, and I've been seeing this person under a lot of LaMelo's comments and stuff like that in Charlotte Hornets posts. The person said the problem is the Hornets made a mistake in making him a point guard. Even though he can play making, he can pass, he's not a point guard. He's a two guard that has an efficiency issue. You know, he's a high value
No,
shooter.
no, no. The if you look at the comment that says he needs a 6'10" power forward that can score, that that can score and rebound, that
Mhm.
is the truest comment that was ever written.
Oh,
And
I agree. It don't even have to be a power forward. It could be a center.
no, 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 no. He actually needs, that is the truest comment that was ever written, and he does it, um and he
What?
that as far as for his for him, that that is the truest comment.
I mean, that's true. If and I will stand on this. I think I wonder why Doc Rivers wanted to coach him, first of all. But besides that, I truly believe, outside of maybe the Warriors, and even if he was like, if the Warriors was to take him, I don't think no other team would put him at point guard. Because what I'm trying to gather is, if you felt like he didn't understand the defense he was looking at, because I'm pretty sure they, like they do in the NFL, they sit down with you and they run through plays like offensive sets and stuff to see what you know, to see what they need to teach you and stuff like that. We can clearly see that he had a lack of knowledge. So I'm trying to understand why the fuck the Hornets, like, I don't know.
You
I
were
just,
trying to make a pick and pop scenario, Gemini.
yeah. He said basically when the play breaks down, man. Yeah, Melo, he does need to get bigger. I agree with that. Yeah. I feel like people just, it's the same thing with Young. Like Young is too small to play the two guard, which that's what they tried to do in Atlanta with him and Murray. It's just not working. But also, I do agree when people say LaMelo. I don't think he's as dominant as Trey Young is by a long shot, but like, I think they need to move him to the two. I don't think he's this extraordinary. I think he can make plays. Like, you know how Phoenix is trying to do with Booker. Like, Booker looks, it's not that Booker looks horrible being a playmaker. It's just not doing what he needs to do because
No,
he wants to score first. I think that's
no,
what, so he's selling himself a dream. It's great to get your teammates involved first, but like, you selling you want
it won't,
he decide he want
it won't
his,
look right. It, it won't look right with Lamelo at two guard. Sorry,
why would you, outside of his shooting, why?
it won't. It honestly won't look right. I'm I'm honestly telling you, as a point guard, it won't look right.
Well, because I don't think point guard is working because like I'm trying to tell you basically that he don't he knows, like I said, I definitely think he year 4 he has a better understanding, but like it's mm, I don't see
They need a locker room guy.
it. They need a lot of shit.
But not having a veteran is gonna have them in doubt on game.
But
Like on game day, you
yeah,
can have the perfect practices, like you said. Some days practices be light. Sometimes they may concentrate on fast breaks or half court, whatever scenarios, and you do all the right things. But on game day, you don't have a locker room guy. It don't matter.
right.
Shuffling play schemes. I don't think Lamelo has a play scheme issue or conflict. If we're just isolating him as a player,
Hmm.
does he make mistakes? I mean, the stuff happened, yeah, but overall, I haven't really seen him not being able to recognize, read defenses, and do what he's asked to do. That's just me.
Yeah. But Dre's comment, they already cross match him against wings anyway. Like maybe not Tatum. Tatum might not take him for the whole game, but they already put wings on him already. So that's like weird. Yeah. So he already be in cross matches, not as a defender, but as the offensive player, where teams do put wing, unless the wings are like really slow footed. He generally, from what I've seen, Butler take him because let me see who played on the perimeter with Butler. Fuck. Well, it was guys that can't play defense like here on them, but yeah.
He said can't play defense.
Yeah, I mean, trust me. Somebody said, "Yo, when they get out that Miami system, they ain't worth much." I said, "That's hurtful as fuck." If I was on Miami right now, I'll be like, "Hell nah." Let me get myself ready for when they might trade me, because you ain't gonna talk about I ain't nothing without Miami. You
No,
out
that,
your
that-
mind.
no, no, but that's not true because a lot of the Miami players, once they leave that system, actually are the same defenders that they were in Miami. Look at your boy that's in Cleveland right now,
Strauss.
the great defender. Look at shoot, damn. What's his
The only other one that left was Gabe.
No, I'm trying to think of his name. No, it was another one that left. I'm trying to think of his damn name. He he, he left a season before, but I can't think of his damn name. Yeah, it don't matter now any damn way. Um, but they but because of the way that Spolstrom coach and the way that they practice with knee brace, mouth guards, elbow pads. They practice so hard that and like they it, the way that they play defense in the game, Lord have mercy. So they play hard within games, man. Telling you. So that's why they value it so high when they go to the other team. Like
But Gemini, you say he can't play the two, and I'm asking you, outside of his shooting woes, why don't you think he can play the two? Oh,
I don't.
mhm.
Man, this is the Ball Family channel. I don't comment on the balls. I don't 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 don't, don't do that with me.
Wow.
No, like no, Dex no, you know. Don't do that with me.
I see testing said cap. Why did you say cap testing?
Yeah, that's the Westbrook release too. My bad. I'm watching the home stretch of the Clippers Thunder matchup.
Who winning?
Clippers by 4, but they're allowing SGA to come back in this thing. 7 minutes.
Rap guy asked you a question, Gemini.
Ain't nothing he can
Purple, you know that.
do.
Defense.
Uh, he said defense. I hope he heard you.
That defense.
I mean, that's what I said. I think he just, I don't know. It's a dead horse at this point. We'll see if they get a new coach. If they get a new coach with with the new coach and GM work out, if that were to happen. We are hopeful that they will, because play styles matter. Oh, he heard you. He said he agreed that he needs
Even if you do an overhaul, the results of the overhaul is not going to lead to instant uh, production.
to.
You're only going,
So
yeah,
I
you're only going to free up, some of your liabilities that you got now. When I say liabilities, cap space and uh,
exactly. So and that's what I'm saying. So do you think we have to realize Lamelo is what 21 now. So before next season, well, before this year, he'll be turning 22. So he'll go into the next season at 22 years old. I think his contract ends when he's 25. Do you think in 5 years, basically, do you think Charlotte, if they start stepping in the right direction with common sense, do you think that they could do what OKC is doing or even Houston?
What you mean?
Like put like let's say a 5 year plan, which I've never heard people in basketball really say. I hear it in football a lot, but that's kind of a joke because the way they
If,
cut players in football. But
if a
like a 5 year plan of you have the
if a three
GM would be there
year
longer than 5 years, but you have 5 years to you get a free year next year, of course. But after that, you got 5 years to
it's a
show
3 year
me.
plan in basketball. It's a 3 year plan, but keep going.
Okay, yeah, you said 3 years.
Yeah, it's a 3 year
Yeah,
plan.
okay. I think 3 years is too short for the mess that Charlotte is in, so that's why I say 5 years. But okay, even with it, do you think that it could be turned around in 3 years? I mean, or yeah, or 5 years. I don't think it could be turned around in 3 years, but to each his own.
and so you have a turnaround when you see the team doing what.
I mean, literally, I'll say this. First of all, Lamelo has to. start using his mid range. He has to start using his floater. That's that's year one, right?
Yeah.
You
Year
talking about
two.
first option? You talking about first option?
No, I'm
Oh
I'm saying year one. I'm saying year one.
no,
Year
no, that's what I'm talking about. On his possessions, should he be looking for that game as primary option? I shouldn't say at first, but primary.
two. Uh,
Remember, I'm old school, so I don't care how many shots Steph Curry hit. I'm always gonna look at the long ball as being secondary, no matter what. Unless you're,
I'm like that too.
yeah,
Like that
unless
too.
it's at the end of the game. Yeah, unless it's at the end of the game and you only got 2 seconds.
But that leads me, and Gemini, you can continue to this. I keep telling people, y'all need to look, and I'm gonna pull it up because I know it's gonna take me some time. But I'm pretty sure outside of Steph, there's probably not too many guys that are star players. Let me preference. So that's people like AD, LeBron, and all the Stephs, and so on and so forth,
Mm.
that can average 12. We know they can probably average 12 points on a really, really good day from outside, from 3 point. But if you look at where they're getting their points from, yes, I'm not saying they're not going to the free throw line.
I
Yes,
I
players are going
say
to the
yeah.
free
I
throw
I
line.
say yes. I say yes first option. Then then I say the three second option.
Mm.
Then then I say but 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 see the- but see then I will but but see I will put too much pressure on him because I'm a point guard. So I would definitely put too much pressure on him because I'm a point guard
Hmm.
because my coach put defense first, scoring second. So defense would definitely be first, scoring would be second, and so
Testing with the floating.
yeah, so yeah, so all right, so all
So
right,
stop. Yeah, stop your man and just be consistent.
yeah,
Or in a zone situation, yeah, cover your area.
yeah. So I actually on the ball slash zone slash then then um wow, cause that because I already know my coach will be all on like
But
all on this kid. So
I'm gonna ask you this, Al. You want him to defend first, or not defend first, but you want his defense to get better, and I agree with you. But per when we look at the league, this ain't just a Lamelo problem. When you look at the league, how many guys can you name that play on both ends that are elite at doing it? Coming down as the number one scoring option, and then coming back and being the head of the defense, like a real good defensive guy, to where he's on the NBA all NBA team and all defensive team and in the running for defensive player of the year. How many guys do you see doing that?
Embiid,
Okay, that's one.
it's a short list now.
Yeah, that's I now if you talking about him being
see,
decent,
yeah,
yeah,
but purple, but purple but also here's the overall thing. my coach wouldn't just want you to shine off of the court, because my coach would literally be, if you could shine off of the court, you could shine on that ML. So if you could shine off of that ML, you better be able to shine on that ML. So the brighter you shine off of it, you better shine on it. So like in so like and he would set you down when you F up too. So I and that's the main reason why, like, when I would mess up, best believe I rode the bench for messing up too. Like if I didn't get a steal when my coach know I should have been up, or I should have played back, so I could play that lane to get that steal, or I should have been in that defensive rotation, or my hand should have been up, so I should have deflected that pass.
Lunch rotation at my house.
Like, come on, man. Uh, uh, uh,
I,
I
I
should
probably
have.
can throw Drew Holiday in that conversation. Outside of Bam Adebayo, I don't know. Yeah, that's a short list.
Al, if you don't join the panel, tell me I don't want to talk about it,
But
bro.
Rudy Gobert,
He's to me, he's one end.
like like I
but
I,
no
I
offense.
like
He
I
has
say
offense, but it's not, he's not a leading player off. You don't look for him to lead your teams
I
off.
got you.
Yeah, like Embiid does. You can say Jokic. People say Jokic ain't a good defender, but I wouldn't put Jokic like Giannis. I don't
Yeah,
know the discourse, something like that. And even Giannis, talking about him, Giannis has some flaws, man. Like some
yeah,
flaws.
yeah. Last couple of seasons, he's
Ooh-wee.
then backed off his defense.
Yeah,
But I think he was first team in 21, right around the shutdown. I think, and
yeah.
he backed off.
Like it's very hard for guys to make both all defensive teams be in the running for all NBA or on an all NBA team and stuff like that. Like how many times has KD, that's interesting, made the all defensive team? What about Devin Booker? Although he's young-ish, uh how many times has he made the all defensive team? I think he's made some all NBA teams, I think. George, although injured and old, I'm pretty sure he made it more than once, both teams. I think. I'm not for sure. Because I don't really be paying attention to the all NBAs until it's time for players to get paid. Then I'm like, yo, how many teams did they make?
Hey, Purple, you asked me up here, so hold on. I got to interrupt. So hold up. Who we got on the panel? Who hating ass people we got on the panel? I heard
Nobody.
Jimmy.
Nobody's hating. It's
I heard
positive.
Purple. Who else?
Hey,
It's a positive conversation. Nobody's hating.
What's the third guy? What's your name, sir?
devastating.
Devil State. What's going on, bro?
What's up,
Yeah,
man?
man, this is bullshit. Why y'all talking? Why y'all want? Why everybody want Lamelo to leave Charlotte?
no,
That's the title of the
wait, D. Ain't nobody said nothing
Listen.
about
Hear me out.
LaMelo
Hold up.
leaving
Hold on. Let
Charlotte.
me get this on my chest, and then I'm gonna leave because I didn't plan on jumping on.
You
So let me
quoted a lie.
get this on my chest,
No,
Gemini.
you
Stop.
quoted a lie.
No, Gemini.
You quoted a lie. So retract
Let me
your
state
lie.
what I'm about to say first, and then you can tell me how much I'm lying. Hey, listen. So the Hornets. Okay, so I'm gonna say it like this. This coming from feeling. This is not logic. I'm just coming from my feeling. I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna just do this right now. So I'm hating on this conversation because we have not had a legitimate opportunity to see what this team can be. All these damn injuries we've experienced year after year, speaks to the issues that we have and the coaching. The front office getting terrible coaching. So if we get a good coach, a better coach, and guys fucking are off the injury list, then we can start saying, "Oh, LaMelo need to leave," because there's no chance. When we had a full roster of guys that's not fucking hurt, we competed. Both years that was the case. Where LaMelo's rookie year, I think it was the third year. I mean, we've been competing when things were like they should be, but when we got guys injured, yeah, I mean. So I don't know. I mean, that's all I gotta say. I don't understand.
I need you to retract your lie.
Retract what, Gemini? Y'all hating, man. What the?
No.
What kind of lie am I getting?
Nobody said about LaMelo leaving Charlotte.
This is what the stream is about. That's the title. What you mean? Ain't nobody? That's what Flight posted this stream's title as. What do you mean? That's what y'all talking about, right?
Wait. The title is wait. The title is if with Charlotte not getting LaMelo no more help.
Hold on. Let me read this title to you, Gemini. It ain't saying nothing about no.
He requests leaving.
Okay,
So
this
wait a minute, Al. Wait a minute, Al. You understand the context of it as we're literally in the 11th hour of the situation in Indianapolis.
So I don't. Yeah, explain that statement, sir. I don't understand.
Oh, they're trying to work a situation with the Raptors.
That's the part he's not getting, because if Halliburton is getting more help in Indiana, should LaMelo be asking to leave because Halliburton is getting more help in Indiana? Should LaMelo be asking to leave because he's not getting no more help in Charlotte?
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna agree on that statement or to say, well, yeah, he needs to leave if Siakam ends up in Indiana. I'm not gonna say that, because at the end of the day, I still believe this team can be something. Because he hadn't had a full season with Mark Williams. That's a big deal, because Mark Williams, for the first time, is one of the best centers this team has ever had. Even not better than Alonzo Mourning, but if he shows based on the potential he's shown right now, he's better. He's second. He's right below Alonzo Mourning. That's a big deal. I mean, some people might not agree, but that's what I think. That's my opinion. So at the end of the day, if LaMelo is having a full season with people like him, Brandon Miller, and they fucking get a better bench. I mean, I understand the gripe though, but I'm just saying this team hasn't had a full roster of players that's not injured in a while. The last time we did, we made it. We got blown out in the play-in, but that was more of mentality than talent. So I mean, yeah, that's my point. But yeah, I'm gonna jump off because this really.
Yeah, we didn't want you to be thinking we were just hating.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, man. But this team is at this point. I mean, I get it. You're right, but Halliburton has never had a roster. The only team that's had a situation where everybody was fucking hurt like this is the Warriors. But the Warriors were already proven years before that, so it didn't really play a big part. I mean, but they didn't do anything in that year where everybody was hurt. They didn't do a damn thing. They weren't competitive. So, I mean, the Hornets have been dealing with this injury bug. I don't know what it is for the last 2 years. So I mean, but I understand the gripe, but is it really legitimate though? If guys are always fucking hurt, is that really legitimate of a argument? But I get it though, because one thing I understand about Kupchak, because I like his recent drafts. I mean, to a degree, three of them was terrible, but for the most part, they were above 50% good. But as far as his free agent decisions, the shit has been drastically bad. I don't know if it's because the city is a small market and people don't want to come here like that. I don't know. I mean, I've heard people like it here. I hope that's the case. Iverson lives here. Who else lives here? Who else lives here? I heard Randy Moss lives here. So, I mean, so people love coming here, but for some reason, I mean, this front office needs to get right pill. They need to figure out how to fucking manage this thing and stop really fucking with good coaching and make better decisions on the front office. If that shit goes well, I think we got something going. But I don't know, man. I just hope. I don't want him to leave. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
So
Big L, can I ask you a question?
You can ask me whatever you want, Gemini. Go ahead.
All right. This is the question that I really want to understand. When it came to this off season, right? And it came to this draft. When it came to this draft, right? Me and you both watched this draft, right?
I got you, Gemini. Get to the point, man. Come on. I got to go to bed. Go ahead.
All right. We both said they got a little too guard happy, right?
Yeah, you said this before. Go ahead. I'm listening.
We both agreed on it. That was fun. Then we said it messed up the guard rotation. Okay.
But Gemini, okay, because
No,
you take a minute. Let me say something about that guard happy stuff that you just mentioned. So when you say that, I kind of don't agree, and that's because you talking about a book night who's yet to show he can take command of the ball when he has it. I mean, in almost 4 years. I think it's 4 years now. I mean, you want, huh?
3 years.
Okay. Well, yeah. And a lot of people on this panel, they all gripe about him. I'm like, how can you gripe about him when he has yet to show he can really take command of the ball? Nick Smith Jr. has yet to be on the floor consistently. But when he gets the ball in his hands, he has the ability to take command of the ball and make something happen. He's done that consistently at this point. Booknight, on the other hand, who was drafted a lot higher than Nick Smith, has had issues. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've heard rumors about his off-court issues and some things that he's into. I think that contributed to it. But when he had the ball, Booknight that is, when he had the ball, he was not producing. He had nights where he produced well, but I think it was because Lamelo, who was a great distributor, as everybody knows, was getting him open shots, or other teammates might have been getting him open shots. So he was making open threes, but he was not really making things happen for himself. On the other hand, Nick Smith Jr. has done that with a point guard who Purple Baby says is a ball hog, and I kind of agree. And, I mean, so if you're doing that with a ball hog, I mean, you can do it anytime you need to, especially with LaMelo. So, I mean, yeah, we needed guards. We needed somebody to take, because Booknight was supposed to fill that gap, but he didn't. And we need a point guard behind Terry Rozier, even though Terry Rozier sometimes backs up LaMelo. But we didn't have a point guard for that. Hell, we still don't. We got Ish Smith. So guard happy? I don't know, man. We fucking need. What's the guy, Bailey? I wish he was on the team other than Ish Smith. I don't know. I guess Bailey's not a point guard. Nick Smith Jr. is the point guard, I believe. He backs up Ish sometimes. But we did need a point guard. We needed a two guard too, because Book Knight, for some reason, couldn't figure it out. Because Cody Martin is a small forward. So yeah, my fault, Jimmy. I ain't meant to take your smoke. Damn it. Go ahead, you got it.
Okay, so you needed 3 more guards. Oh, okay, so that's fine. Oh, okay, so you didn't need more power forwards. Okay, so that's fine. All right. So at this point, you just need to create your own more bottlenecks within your own organization, and you're wondering why you're having the turmoil within your own organization that you're having, and you're wondering why you're battling within your own organization.
Is that a question?
Yes.
If that's a question, I don't understand, because you asked me if I wonder why I'm battling in my organization. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Man, look, the Hornets. I don't know, because I have a hard time assessing them only because of this injury shit. My assessment is different than a lot of other people that might be on here. Maybe because I'm in this area, I'm actually in Charlotte, but also it's because I have a little higher regard for some of the guys that a lot of you guys have dismissed and consider, because I've seen them at their best. Not at their best. I've seen them produce. Like, a lot of people don't even mention Cody Martin on here sometimes. He's not the best shooter, but he's very key because he's a great defender. He's a hustler. He's the kind of guy.
I got Cody in high regard. I really
right,
do.
but a lot of people on the panel don't ever mention him when we talk about players that can be significant for this team. But I believe he's one of those players.
Cody and Bridges are y'all Energizer Bunnies. Don't ever get that for.
Yeah, and let's be real. The organization did properly recognize him. He was a second-round pick. They probably recognized him and his brother, because one of them was a second-round pick, but the other one was an undrafted free agent, I think.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, this team, they make okay decisions sometimes, and they do need to make free agent decisions and make free agent moves. That's really the issue.
So Al, you can finish.
So all I was going to say was, to answer your question. I think I'm answering your question, Gemini, even though I didn't understand it. But anyway. So when we talk about the Cody Martins of the world, or hell, Nick Richards, but I don't know, but he's a legitimate backup. He has issues that make him a legitimate backup in the sense he shouldn't really be starting. Why is he starting? On top of that, why? And I think Stephen Dexterius Smith made a good point the other night. He made a point. Why is Nathan Mensah on the team? That speaks to free agency. Why aren't they picking up free agent centers instead of putting Nick Smith or Nathan Mensah on the court? But
Nick is actually your third. He wasn't even your second. Nick was actually your third center. But keep going.
When? Last year?
Nick was actually your third center in your depth chart.
When?
Y'all actually had him at the beginning of the season. Y'all actually had him.
Nick who was your Jimmy? You say a lot of stuff is wrong. I need you to validate what you just said.
When y'all started y'all season, y'all actually had Nick slotted as y'all third in y'all.
Nick who? You gotta give me the last name.
Richards. Nick Richards.
Hell no. No, we didn't. He was a second. Oh, my God. He's the backup, man. Mark Williams was the starter. Nick Richards was the backup. Nick Richards was
I
not
looked at
the
it
third
online.
center.
Y'all had him as y'all third. I was actually shocked.
No, that was that when Kai Jones was on the court or something on the team?
Yeah.
Kai Jones. Okay, yeah. You know better than that. Why would they? I mean, that might have been a typo because you know better than that. Kai Jones on speed. Why would he? Why would he be the third?
Yeah, I was shocked.
Third center in the. You know exactly. You know better than that. And he wasn't. He hadn't even played center for the team a lot.
Yeah,
actually, when he played, Clifford would play him at power forward, which I still don't understand why he did that.
Yeah,
so no, he was not the third. Nick Richards was never the third center. He can't be the third center on this team. Kai Jones.
Yeah, that's why I was shocked.
All right, yeah.
Real quick, Purple, before you go, before you came on, Al, I did mention that even if he does ask out, if they trade him, he's still saying it's okay to go to another trash team.
Yeah, and that's not. Your name is. Hold on, I got it. Yeah. So devastated. That's another thing y'all got to think about. So let's say Lamelo does go to another team. It's gonna be the same other bullshit. If I don't know, unless he's faking injuries, he might be injured on another team too. So we.
Oh wow.
That's gotta be taken care of. That's gotta be worked out to where he's not injury prone because he's a great player. He's needed. The Hornets need him. He makes the Hornets go because some of these niggas don't know how to pass. I don't know why, but yeah, LaMelo is good and he makes a lot of things happen. And I'm just gonna say it like this: I need Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, Cody Martin. I know that he's not as significant as those other three. Nick Richards. Who else? I mean, if we can get a better version than Miles Bridges, that's fine. But if we have to keep Miles, that's fine as well. But I don't want Gordon Hayward as much. Unless I'm not crazy about Terry Rozier either. But I mean, because his stature, the two guard is he's more of a backup right at this point. We need a two guard that can actually be one. Brandon Miller is that. So. Or hell, Cody Barton, but I don't know. But I need these guys to be together. I just that's what I want before all this talk is going. I want them to be together, and then once that's proven to not work, and we have a good under a good coach, I have no problem with this the topic of this panel. I have no problem with it because we've had a legitimate opportunity. And the team still failed. So yeah, that's all I can say.
What I would want to ask you, the league changes yearly. So what makes you think? Because we're looking for a team to grow. So do you think a healthy team this year would have ascended past the play-in and did something similar to, for instance, what OKC has done? Like, I'm trying to get your thought process.
Yeah, I think some people brought that up. That's a hard one because I guess some people would say hell no, but I don't know, man. We sell this team short on because it's really morale that's keeping them in the doldrums. That's part of it, but it's also coaching.
Yeah, I said if they don't have a locker room guy, they don't have a veteran on game day. Like you can do everything right in practice, but on game situations, on game day,
y'all need
don't have a locker room guy. All that practice stuff gonna go out the window.
Yeah, Gemini about to talk. What you about to say? What you trying to say, Gemini? You trying to talk some ish? Go ahead, man.
No, y'all need a coach.
Oh yeah, we need a coach. That's for sure. And then on top of that, though, we also just he guys healthy. I keep saying that, but at the end, I mean, Purple, to answer your question, because it's a very hard one for me. Because in a way, if guys are better, I would hope they would do better than the play-in. Because for one thing, I think Clifford is properly teaching defense. I'll give that to him. I mean, well, no, let me because the defense still is whack. But I think the defense right now though is really geared to. I mean, really, I guess suffering because of morale more than just Clifford's coaching. I think the defense will be better if I think morale was higher and guys really gave a damn. But so yeah, they might have had a chance. They might have. They probably would have still got beaten the play-in though. Purple. That's your question. It would have been closer though. It might not have been a blowout, I guess, if people were not hurt.
And also, Big L, y'all new ownership need to step the fuck up, bro. Like for real, for real.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I mean, but we gotta. I don't know. Yeah, because you're right, Gemini. But that's the thing. This team is. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get off because I really want to get off. But I'm gonna say this because this team has been under terrible management for so long, man, and making so many bad decisions that they have snowballed. And at this point, we're trying to dig out a pit with contracts. We're trying to dig out a pit with reputation, because reputation in the NBA, I'm sure, matters. We're trying to dig out a pit with the front office people we have. Maybe the training might be an issue. Hell, even because apparently they still got a lot of Borrego's coaching. His former staff is still on the team. Apparently, some of the players like Borrego's staff. I guess I don't know if that's why they're on the team, but they're still on the team. So, in my opinion, I don't think the Borrego fire was the best decision, even though they got blew out. I think I don't know, his coaching style. I don't know if it was the best, but so all I'm saying is, like, for the coming future, I don't know where this is going to be, because we need guys to not be injured. But at the end of the day, we digging out a fucking hole, man. This team has been ran terribly, man. So thank God we got new management, Gemini. Because at some point, if they do get it right, we got a future, man. We do. We got something. So go ahead, my bad.
No, I would just say I believe in this very strongly. That your future, it's important that of course you get those veteran guys in there, but those veteran understands their roles as terms from a leadership point and everything like that. But your young guys, you gotta have them on the same accord.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. And that's another thing I think Stephen Dexterius Smith, we talked about the other night. This team, because of morale, it might be poisonous, because it might be feeding into the logic and the understanding of the younger guys, and that's not good. So I can understand if we get rid of veterans that's really not helping the young guys to really acclimate to the NBA like they should. And I mean having that winning mentality. That's all. So, because a lot of guys, these veterans, have been losing for so long, it's become commonplace for them. They don't think anything of it. It's just they expect it. So that's one of the things that needs to be worked out and changed too. So, but yeah, I'm gone, man. I just wanted to jump on because this panel fucked me up, because White was saying this, he was talking about this, but I do not want this to happen. So I'm praying this front office figures it out, Gemini, like you're saying, and they get on get on their hind legs or whatever they need to do and say, we got to fix this shit. Hopefully it happens. I don't know if it's going to, but I hope it does. I'm out. Y'all have a good night.
Mm.
All right.
Good night.
Night.
Yeah, the Suns able to hold off that late Kings run. Durant gave you 27, 5 boards, 4 assists, and Grayson Allen 29 points, 5 boards, and 6 assists. And a 2-point win, 119 to 117.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm just ready for them to get it together. And it's not gonna be fixed. And even when they healthy, you still gonna have this problem. Wow, that's interesting, that comment about his injuries. But I look at this team and I'm like, there's I feel bad for the new coach because I don't think he can. Only thing a coach can do realistically is set up a game plan. Hopefully, the game plan is followed. But like with PJ currently under a new deal, whether the deal is tradable or not, Cody, on his deal, which Cody and PJ's contracts are tradable. It's just they're right now their value is very low. Like I just feel bad. I wouldn't want this Hornets job, y'all. At all. Like at this point, you don't go like the Hornet, not the Hornets, Rockets job was more appeasing than this one. Cause this this ain't a mess that you can get out of in 3 years, unfortunately.
Yeah, I like to see a little bit more accountability being put on the front office.
I put it all there because, like I said, there's I don't think I really want to stand on this too. I don't think there was ever a plan for LaMelo at all for this team. I think they felt how they felt, which is, oh, we have a playoff team. Because it's how teams are, looking going into the year and whatever like that. We are good enough to make an 8 seed or a 7 seed. So we're gonna put people like I don't know why Miles was not starting outside of what's the name being on that team at that time. Oh my God, Nicholas Batum. I don't understand that. And PJ was starting. But I felt like they felt like, hey, we got a playoff team. We're gonna bring Gordon Hayward in here, and we'll get whatever it is out of LaMelo for whatever he's worth at that current point in time, because he was a rookie at the end of the day. They lived off this delusion for 3 seasons. And now that's why they in the position. I don't think they could have made Vernon Carey valuable, that much valuable as Nick, but you have to use common sense. Essentially, draft guy, that's what I keep leaning to. You should have rebuilt, whether you believed in LaMelo or not. You should have, hey, do this, because even with Kimba, who was valuable for them to have to release what's his name? Nicholas Batum, because of how bad he was playing. But for Nicholas Batum and even Michael Kidd Gilchrist not to have any value, like come on, bro. Like Kimba was the most valuable piece that y'all had. And even with that, I mean Terry Rozier ain't a bad player, but like, come on, bro. The goal of this is from a business perspective, LaMelo and to an extent Brandon Miller are so valuable now. Honestly, you could get 2 to 3 first round picks. Not each, but in total.
So,
He
so
said so.
Purple, you want LaMelo to abandon ship?
No, I, here's what I'm saying. I'm trying to have some faith because I looked at what OKC did, but that's management and coaching. But I don't see it because they got guys in the timeline of Shea Gilgeous, but also development. Even like when you look at New Orleans, Brandon Miller is in year. I mean, not Miller. Brandon Ingram, I think, is in year 8 or something like that. 8 or 9, whatever it is. He up there though.
You're
Zion was
you're
the guy,
seven.
huh? Year
You're
7.
seven.
Yeah. Like it's just frustrating because it's not that Terry and Gordon didn't work. I just think that they told them it had to be like, okay, you guys are gonna lead this team playoffs, da da da. We're gonna put guys around you guys that complement shot playing style and all this, and like with DeRozan and Levine, they were off version of them. Like, we gonna make the playoffs. Because when you think about Chicago, Cody, not his name ain't Cody. Whatever his name is, the point guard, shooting guard, whatever he is that they drafted. Uh,
Kobe White.
yeah, value. You would say Vucevic, he's okay. I'm restrained from calling him ass. But Vucevic, DeRozan, Levine, and then White, and then I'm missing somebody. What's the other young man's name that they took? I don't know if he getting playing time because I don't hear people talking about him. Dalen Terry. Them players, well, maybe not Dalen Terry, but everybody else, them other 5 guys have more value than Cody, PJ. Only reason why Miles don't have a lot of value is because, the case and everything. But that's fucking sad, man. Like the Hornets is just, hey, mm-mm. Somebody said book night. Yeah, I think Mitch, like, shout out. I know Hornets fans is happy because he got them out of the bundle of the Batum contract and everything else. But to me, when I look at it, he's done terrible, bro. You don't promise if Gordon Hayward got an attitude, take his ass somewhere. Go somewhere else because right now we rebuilding. This is what we doing. You don't like it, you could go somewhere else. Like I think it was 2020 when Terry got his new deal or whatever. Hey, listen, we about to find you a new team. Flip you for, whatever you worth because you not fitting our timeline unless you want to be a veteran voice in this locker room. And right now, build these young guys up, show them the ropes. Hey,
I just believe the whole team just had a limit to what they was going to spend to make a winning team. And once they reached that limit, it was like this as far as we're going to go. We're going to win with this or we're not. And
mm.
when Mitch Kupchak came out and said that Gordon Hayward was their best player,
Every time you say that, I just, why do he say?
um, you know what I'm saying? How do you think the locker room looked when he said Gordon Hayward was? I mean, everybody probably looked at Gordon Hayward like, huh?
Including him.
hmm Like it's just I had never like Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Gordon,
Like
Gordon Hayward was barely walking on two stilts, and Mitch had the nerve to say he was the best player. I know Gordon was offended. It wasn't a compliment. He was offended.
Yeah, he's been around long enough to
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. We about to get up out of here, man. Shout out Dex. We're gonna pull back up tomorrow, man. We got a game. It's Flight Sports TV. I already know what it is.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.